Galapagos Islands, an area of immense biodiversity and also goats. To understand why I'd be mentioning goats, let's start at the beginning. March 10th, 1535, a guy named Fray Tomas de Berlanga stumbled upon the Galapagos Islands during his trip from Panama to Peru. It was described to be a hostile environment not really worth colonizing. This is unless you like giant tortoises. After this, nothing was really done with the islands by the Spanish. It was often used as a pirate haven as well as a haven for whale hunters. So now we fast forward to 1805. This is when Patrick Watkins either got marooned or asked to be dropped off at the Galapagos Islands. I don't know why he'd want to go based off what Fray Tomas de Berlanga said. Patrick must have really liked giant tortoises. Anyway, he left in 1809 for some reason. I don't know why. No one would tell me. We again fast forward to 1837, where General Jose Maria de Villamy Jolly, Spanish names are hard, took some of his boys to settle the Galapagos Islands. They ended up bringing cattle, pigs, donkeys. Why do I hear boss music playing? There was a couple of other waves of colonization, but that's not important to the story. Now, if you have taken a biology class or just know how animals work, you would know that since goats aren't native to the Galapagos, they are unlikely to have natural predators. And you know what this means. Next thing you know, it's the 1900s and goats are terrorizing the place, destroying habitats that some native animals depend on. The Ecuadorian government decided that they had to do something about it. War! With goats? Basically. The government started goat eradication on Plaza Sur. The Tortoise Summit was held in 1995 to help address the issue of the explosive goat populations on Isabela Island. A workshop was held in 1997 that confirmed the plans and funding for the largest island restoration project to date. Project Isabela. How did the government plan to hunt thousands of goats? By using helicopters, specifically MD-500D/E helicopters. Two of these helicopters were used per air component. One of these helicopters would be armed with 2 or 3 shooters using semi-automatic 12-gauge shotguns and/or AR-15s. I'm still confused why they'd use shotguns to shoot goats from the air, but you do you, I guess. These missions would last about 2 hours in total. Although from my experience, goats can be stupid, they've also learned how to be smart too in some ways. They eventually learned to hide in bushes or caves to hide from helicopters. This is when some ground hunting came into play. Oftentimes, the hunters would have dogs. These hunting teams would consist of 10 to 28 people. However, ground hunting was not too common during Project Isabela. This is because ground hunting got replaced with a new tactic: Judas goats. Judas goats were live captured goats that were sometimes caught using helicopters. Interesting fact. These goats would be tagged with a special ear tag that allowed the hunters to track them. The goats were also sterilized to prevent them from producing more goats. This method was first tested on Santiago Island. Many islands were cleared of goats from the period of 2000 to 2006. Northern Isabela Island would be the final island to be declared goat-free. Some reintroductions of goats had occurred, most of them for political reasons. Project Isabela was a success, with a total of 200,825 goats removed, costing somewhere around $12 million. This averages to be around $59 per goat overall, although the final goats were more expensive to remove. Now the Galapagos is starting to return to its former biodiversity. This is until the goats declare war and come back with a bigger army.